Hey guys, Mischief here, and today I'm going to start a new vlog that I'm going to call Novel Wars. Now what I'm going to do in Novel Wars is I'm going to take two books and I'm going to pit them against each other. These are going to be books that are similar in genre, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to compare them against each other and pretty much just give you in my own detail and description which of the two that I think is better. Now, some of these books may be standalone books, some of them may be in a series. It really just depends on what I feel like doing that day. I'm going to try to do this every week. If not, I'm going to do it at least every other week. So, today I'm going to start with one of the book controversy clashes that has really gotten on my nerves, and that is going to be 50 Shades of Grey versus the Crossfire series. Now, I read 50 Shades of Grey when it was all the rage. To be quite honest with you, I never made it through the third book. I tried and tried to force myself to finish it just so I would, complete the series and know what all the big hoopla was about, especially since the movie is coming out next year. I went back and reread books 1 and 2, and I tried again to read book 3, and I still could not force myself to read that book. The first 50 Shades of Grey book, I enjoyed it. But as it got farther into the second book, I got tired of it, and I just could not, once I finished it, I could not force myself to get past like chapter 2 or 3 of the third book. Anna's character really, I just want to smack her. I cannot stand her, and I didn't like her even before I read the Crossfire series. Now, the thing with these two books is a lot of people who are really diehard 50 Shades, if they've read Crossfire, or even if they've not read Crossfire, they've just, kind of read synopsises or skimmed it, they're all like, oh, well, Crossfire is just, it's a takeoff or a knockoff of 50 Shades of Grey. That's all it is. No. Crossfire is not a takeoff. It's not a spin-off. It's not a knockoff. It's not an off of anything of 50 Shades of Grey. Now, I will be honest. When I read Bared to You, which is the first book of the Crossfire series, I did notice there are some similarities between Crossfire and 50 Shades of Grey. But if you read a lot of erotica or a lot of, the romance books that are out there today, basically almost every single one of these books are the same as something else that you're going to read. It's always about a billionaire, god-looking man and either a plain Jane girl or, something along those lines. They're all the same, in my opinion. And I've read a lot of different series. I've read a lot of different standalones, and there's always a similarity somewhere in there between all of these books. To me, yes, there are, like I said, a few similarities with Crossfire and 50 Shades of Grey because, of course, Christian Grey and Gideon Cross are both millionaires in their late 20s. They both come from tortured pasts. The difference between 50 Shades of Grey and Crossfire, in my opinion, now this is just my opinion, so don't, take it to the bank and be all upset. This is just my opinion. The writing styles are totally different. Sylvia Day has a way of creating this world and creating these characters that you just get sucked into it. And for me, with 50 Shades of Grey, that just didn't happen. Especially the second go-round when I went back and reread them. Because when I read 50 Shades of Grey for the first time, that was the first erotica book that I ever read. So I didn't really have anything to compare it to. But when I read it for the second time, after I had read, Crossfire, and I had read the This Man series, and Gabriel's Inferno, and just all these different books that I have read since the first time I read 50 Shades of Grey, the writing style for 50 Shades of Grey it's poor, in my opinion. E.L. James, I'm not sure if that's how they do writing in England. I'm pretty sure she's from England. But just the way that that book was written, as I'm sitting there reading it, I'm thinking to myself, real people do not talk this way. They do not word their sentences this way, and I couldn't really get into it. The characters, Christian Grey's character is, I can handle him a little bit, but I cannot stand Anastasia Steele's character. I cannot stand her. She gets on my nerves, and I just do not like her. The difference between her and Eva Trammell in Crossfire is Eva is not... The thing with Anastasia is she's a virgin, and, that's not a bad thing. But she sees the world in... She kind of romanticizes everything. She doesn't know a lot about sex. Even for a chick in her 20s. I mean, this day and age, even if you are a chick in your 20s and you're a virgin, you still know a little something about sex if you read or if you watch TV. But Anastasia's character just came off to me as dim-witted when it came to sex. Like, she romanticized it and had it in her mind of, what it was. And, that's not a bad thing. A lot of people do. But just the way that she acted and the way that she talks, and she got on my nerves. I wanted to strangle her. I really could not stand her. Now, Eva's character, she comes from a tragic past, just like Gideon does. So, she is aware of how bad the world can be, of how evil people can be. But, she's not let it run her life. She still, lives her life. And, that's something that she shares with Gideon. But Gideon is a little more... He handles his past a lot differently than she does, of course. But, these two books, in my opinion, there really is no comparison in these two books. Writing-wise, character-wise, there is no comparison. Yes, like I said before, there are some similarities between these books, but, again, like I said, there are similarities in all of these erotica books. They're all based around the same thing. A hot millionaire in his late 20s, early 30s, and, some little normal chick that, he eventually ends up falling in love with. So all of these books have similarities in one way or another. But in my opinion, if you haven't already guessed, Crossfire is, above anything that I have read. It is my favorite series. And I just don't think that, 50 Shades of Grey can hold a candle to it. I will go watch the 50 Shades of Grey movie just to see how they do it. Just to see how it turns out. But, like I said, 50 Shades of Grey is not one of my top picks in books. And Christian Grey is definitely not one of my top boyfriends, because Christian Grey just comes off to me as creepy. He has mommy issues, and I just really can't connect with him. Gideon is screwed up beyond measure, but Gideon, he will do anything for Ava. And I love Gideon. Gideon is probably in my top 3 of book boyfriends, if not my number 1. But, like I said, Crossfire totally kills 50 Shades of Grey, in my opinion. 50 Shades of Grey cannot hold a candle. It cannot compete with Crossfire, in my opinion. Like I said, this is my opinion. If you don't like it, sorry. But, that's my truth. So, this novel war, the winner goes to Crossfire.